All right, bear with me here because my reverse camera, it wouldn't work very well because my phone's cracked. So I got to turn it around. But I am outside Petco Park right now. Post-game reaction. Padres, they knock off the Braves. They're 2-0. As you can see, Petco's right here. But they knock off the Braves. Dylan Cease, I didn't think he was tremendous. But for the first start of the season, I thought it was fine. Ultimately, the Padres won the game. He wasn't as bad as Michael King was command-wise, in my opinion. I'll have to go watch some of it just to see like pitch location. There were some, at least from like the highlights that I saw that were posted on social media. He did miss some spots, but that's going to happen. What I was really encouraged by was the offense today, and multiple guys, and some of them were different than on opening day. Obviously, Crony, not surprised that he struggled. It was Chris Sale, a left on left. You're kind of setting up Crony to fail in that situation. But tonight he comes up, and it was against a lefty that he hits that go-ahead game-winning home run. What was that, in the 8th inning? So huge. Off the bat, I was surprised that not as many people in the ballpark thought it was out. Like, I could tell, at least from my seat, it was immediately out. I thought he squared that ball up pretty well. And that was one of those where I think as a player, you're just more relieved than happy about it. Like, sure, Crony's pumped up about it, but you're more relieved because I know it's game 2, but I think that was his first hit, and clearly it wasn't a great start. And then coming off of last year, it was just a bummer of a start, and it's a small sample size, but we know that Crony has the high standards, and so I just love, that he cares so much. And so to see a moment like that where he homers, it's awesome. It made me happy seeing him, have that moment of like, okay, yeah, I'm still here. I can still impact this team. I'm here for a reason. I'm in the lineup for a reason. And obviously Schilt has faith in him, and I think that's big. To be a player manager like that, that's big. So hopefully Crony can, keep riding this. But Tatis has the homer. And I think it was, I talked about it yesterday, I think, how this team is big on, we're not going to give away things, and we're going to take everything that you give us. So if you're going to make mistakes, you're going to make bad pitches, well, you're going to end up paying for that. That's just how it is. And we saw that. Martin Maldonado, I mean, Mike Schilt has really talked Maldi up big time. And I've joked about, future Hall of Famer Martin Maldonado. Well, he had a couple of hits today. He was 2 for 2 at one point, and one of those was a big knock to drive in runs. And so, game 2, you don't stick with Elias Diaz, you go to Maldonado, and it ends up working. And if Diaz isn't going to hit, then Maldonado is going to be the starting catcher, I would think, because who would you rather have out there? Would you have Maldonado or Diaz behind the plate? You'd rather have Maldonado out there, in my opinion. We kind of saw it in game 1, some of the not so great moments from Elias Diaz. So good job from Maldi. Love to see it, Was that pitch right down the middle? Yeah, but again, capitalizing on the mistakes. Big leaguers capitalize on the mistakes. If you do that, like the great teams, the team that, is up north, they're really good at capitalizing on mistakes. And so if the Padres can do that, they're going to be in a really good spot. Jackson Merrill, the dude's a freaking stud. He had, 3 for 4 tonight. Can't say enough about him. And then Bogey, he ends up taking advantage as well of a mistake. Not a great pitch. Definitely, it's not like it was Merrill against Chris Sale yesterday, where that was more of like Jackson Merrill, great piece of hitting. That wasn't really that from Bogaerts. It was taking advantage of a pitch that was down the middle. And I don't really care. Like, what matters, wins and losses. And sorry if I'm pausing here. I'm kind of walking, making sure not getting hit by a bus or a car. But Bogarts and Maldonado, like, taking advantage, capitalizing on bad pitches. They're great pitches for them, right down the middle. And if the Padres do that, and they can get production from all parts of their order, which they have so far in the first couple of games, not all at once, but first couple of games, every part of their order has produced at some point. That's going to help out the pitching staff, and that's a true team effort, and they deserve to be 2-0. They're the better team than the Braves are right now. That's the bottom line. And so now we go into Game 3 tomorrow with, who's on the mound? Randy Vasquez, and then Nick Pivetta on Sunday. Great opportunity to go take 3 out of 4, have a really good start to this season. But great couple of great couple of games here for the Padres. It's 2 games. We're like 1% of the way through the season, but couldn't really be happier as a Padres fan.